Right, today I'm going to do some digging. I've got to cut through up here and I'm going to bypass this steep section of my driveway. This is the original bulldozer track they put in before I bought the property. It is quite steep and slippery, especially when it's been raining, so what I'm going to do is take a new track straight through there on an easier gradient and around that ridge, make a switchback and take it back further up there, and that'll cut out the steepest section of the driveway so that I can get up all the way in a two-wheel drive. The goats are getting into all the leaves on the trees I've pushed over. Oh well, we're getting through it. It's been fairly easy digging. There was a patch of rock at the start there, but then it got a lot easier, and yeah, it's just been pretty easy going most of the way through. I've done about 8 hours so far to get to there. Had to push over quite a few trees, probably about 12 pine trees so far, but I'll come through and cut those up for firewood later on. It's actually quite a nice gradient now. I'll get up there in a two-wheel drive, no problems now. You can see the difference between the gradient here. Like, that's the old track, that steep one. This is the new one that I've dug. The old digger's getting through it, no problems. But I've just hit a big patch of rock here, so I'm going to have to get the pick on and chew through that. track comes down below that steep section, down below the excavator, and got a switchback over there, around here, and heading up this way. I'll widen it a bit more on the way down and sort of slope angle it into the bank a bit, put some water tables in, but I'm just getting the rough shape of it for now. This is another steep section up here, which is always quite slippery after rain. So I'm just going to cut straight through here. When I'm scoping out where the track's going to go, every now and then I'll check with the spirit level, and I've got a 10-degree wedge here. I want to keep it all under 10 degrees, so I'll put the spirit level under the wedge, get the bubble in the center, and then you look across the top of the wedge. Then you can sight up where the road needs to go. So you just scope out somewhere at head height and aim for that next point. Tie rags about head height. Then I can just work my way along, heading for the rags, and I know it's going to be about the right gradient. there's quite a bit of water coming out of the bank here. It's just like a natural spring. And I get quite a bit of water coming down here after it's been raining heavily. So I'm just going to put a culvert in here. Nice easy digging here, so I can just put it straight through there. I've been sloping the track into towards the bank so that any rainwater follows the edge along. It'll come through here, down through the culvert, and off the edge there I'll put some iron down there to carry the water away, and that'll stop the water rutting out this lower section. I got these culvert pipes second hand. I got 5 of them for $100. They're just a little bit damaged at the ends, but perfect for this job. should keep the water off the track. And that should stop the track rutting out. So I'm going to put a switchback in here. There's an old track here, so it's pretty flat already, so I just have to move some dirt over this bench, raise that up, so I can get a good turnaround point in there, and then shoot back up that way, up the old track, and just carry on up the hill. I won't have to move too much dirt for the switchback. If I go further that way, it just gets steeper and steeper. Know where to put a switchback in, so this is the best place for it, I think. Alright, so I've finished making the track. I've cut out the steep sections and it's much easier to get up in a two-wheel drive now. But the track is pretty flat at the moment, and when it rains the water is just going to sit on top and possibly make ruts down the middle. I want to create a bit of a crown in the centre so that the water runs off either side, mainly in towards the bank, and then it follows the bank to the culverts. I still find the easiest way to do that is with the old David Brown with the back blade on. So you can see it's made a bit of a cut into the bank. Because the track is sort of sloped in towards the bank, the water is going to follow that down to the culverts. I do a couple of passes with it on an angle like that, as far into the bank as I can. I've gone through with the ripper with the excavator, so it's all pretty loose and easy to pull out. So I'll make my ditch there and then do a couple more passes and push all this dirt to the outside. I could do it with the dozer, but it's actually a lot quicker with the old David Brown. Being on an angle, when you go over low points, hollows, it drops some of the gravel in the low points, and so it just creates a nice smooth surface as well, and knocks the top off any rocks as well, so it actually finishes it off quite nicely.